welcome! In today's video I'm going to attempt to do something nice with this big lump of log. Now this lump of log is actually a crotch log. It's where the main trunk of the tree growing splits and divides into two. So we've got two big hefty main growing trunks from this tree. Now usually with a log, to make a bowl, I would cut it in half and screw my faceplate onto the flat side, and I'd create my bowl from this outer curve of the tree. But with the crotch log, I don't want to do that because all the interesting patterns and grains in the wood should be deep in the centre here. So I want my bowl shape to go this way rather than that way. Now I've never worked with a crotch log before and I'm really not sure what I'm doing. So it's highly likely it's going to be a fail. But if I don't do anything, this is going to be firewood, so I might as well give it a try and see if I can do something more interesting than a log for the fire. I have no confidence in this project whatsoever. I usually feel quite confident about what I'm going to do and have, I don't know, great excitement and anticipation. And actually, I'm a little bit scared of this. Now it does just fit my tiny little lathe. Here's my centre point here. So it will fit quite nicely. I'm going to need to take corners off, because obviously this will rotate, so I need to cut these corners away when I make it into a blank. And to start me off, I'm going to need to cut a side. So I think that's where I'm going with it, hesitantly, she says. Oh, I've been putting it off for a couple of weeks because I don't really know what I'm doing. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's give it a go. I'm scared. Right, I don't know, scared, nervous, apprehensive, in over my head. I don't know whether it's a funny shape. I don't know whether to cut this side or that one to give me my best end results. Come on, be brave. Saw off a side and take it from there. I'm going to saw off a side, decide where my faceplate's going and cut off the corners. Let's do this, come on. I'm going to cut it here down to give me a flat surface here to attach my faceplate to. This side of the wood's got the biggest amount of bulge and curve. This is flatter already, so I'm going to do that. Oof. Well, there we go. First slice, sliced off in preparation. Yee! Like a little door. That was a really tough saw. Now either my saw is getting very blunt, which is possible, but I suspect more likely this piece of wood was really hard. Now whether it's because I'm cutting through this unusual grain of wood, I don't know, but it was a real tough saw. Right, let's get the faceplate mounted. Actually, let's draw a circle on here and work out where I want to take some corners off to round it up before it goes on the lathe. Oh, I'm all sweaty, yuck. Feeling a bit more confident now I've actually started. As I say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So let's see if we can gain something and line up my faceplate. So I've got my centre point here, and this circle is where my faceplate fits. Where's it gone? There. My nice new heavy faceplate, which I'll need for this heavy log. So that goes in there, and then this outer circle is my maximum diameter that I'm going to get because of the height of the log. That's as far out as I can go. So now what I want to do is cut off these excess corners here and here. One, it's less material to be cutting away with my chisels, and the little top ones as well. And two, it'll allow this to turn and rotate on my lathe. because at the moment if I put this on, I'm pretty confident that's going to bump. There, centre point, so as this turns, oh, it nearly clears, but not quite. We're just starting to bump there and more so there. So I need to take those corners off. What about the other side? Centre point. It actually clears on the other side of the log, so that's quite nice. I haven't cut the bottom corners off, I've decided to leave them, mainly because this piece of wood is really hard to saw. And I don't know what happened there. Sawing around corners? Who knows? But I expect this is going to wobble around like crazy, but we'll see. There's a hole there and there. Put this bad boy on nice and tight. I don't know, it doesn't feel too bad. Really slow, just to see what this does. I want my glove to catch it. I'm scared. That's a big lump of wood. Okay, as suspected, very bouncy. Let's try again. This is holding on. Is that holding on? Don't know. Yay. Okay, I can see what I need to do is take some of that off to balance me out. More sawing, but definitely need to cut that there to give me some balance. Take some of the weight off of that. Okay, at least we know. There's a slice I took off. Interestingly, I knew this grey patch was coming because my sawdust started coming out grey, which I thought was interesting. Grey sawdust. Still a bit bouncy. Maybe I need to wait till I've got a bigger, heavier lathe. A lot better than it was though. Ooh, interesting. Crashing into the banjo under here. You can't see now, you're the wrong tool edge, but as I turn around, the bottom of the wood's hitting here. It's clearing the lathe, but it's hitting there. So, well, here we are back. I've cut a lot more material off this log. Oh, look how squiffy that looks. Looks a bit more balanced up here. So I've cut off some extra corners. I think that might be a workable start. Does it hit the banjo? Oh, it doesn't hit the banjo anymore either. That's good. Let's see if we can do anything with this. Well, I'm guessing my spindle gouge is quite sharp because I'm getting nice shavings of wood coming off. This is willow, by the way, that I'm working with. I don't think I've mentioned it in this video. This is a chunk of willow log. I reckon this is looking pretty rough. It feels rough. Let's see how we're doing. Ta-da! Oh, not as bad as I thought. You can never quite tell when it's spinning round at speed. It always looks nice, but it's balanced out the weight a little bit. Got a nasty slice here. This was my poor hand sawing. So it'll be nice when that's a long way. Oh, it's a shame. I'm gonna have to go a long way to cut past that. If only you could see the concentration on my face. Oh, it's cutting around that notch quite nicely. That wood, that bad saw line. This is rough. A lot of end grain tear out happening here. Do I need to sharpen my chisel? It's not a bad idea. That's nasty. I might end up soaking this in shellac. I've forgotten what it was called for a second. I might end up soaking this in shellac. Interestingly, where the mould has been growing is staying nice and smooth-ish. Where it's just the raw wood, it's all tearing up. So although this is actually a spindle gouge, due to the shallow curve in its flute, I actually sharpen it slightly more in the style of a bowl gouge I've been drawing back these side areas steeper than a spindle gouge normally is. So I have a sharper curve at the end. It's working for me. So let's see how sharp it actually is. I put my hand across it. I'm not actually making contact. I'm just hiding it from the screen so I can talk to you before you see it. That still feels very rough. I think I'm still getting quite a lot of end grain tear out. Oh, actually, it's improved. We're a bit nasty here. It's not as bad as it was though. Okay, smoother than I was expecting, I have to admit. Let's see how we're looking. What's happening here? Tear out, but then we are at the end circle of a log. Lovely and smooth. Floor in the woods. Cut line, cut past that cut line. Interesting. So this is the depth I want to be getting to. Look at this. Holy messy. I don't have anything to fill that with. I've not done anything with resins or such like yet. That's like a bark piece where the two logs are joining. Don't know. Okay, perhaps we'll just end up with a decorative piece rather than a functional one. I don't know. Now I know my new bowl gouge is super sharp. I'm going to run it along this outside edge and just to see what happens. I'm learning, so let's give it a go. Well, sweeping it back towards myself like this. Oh, look at this. Isn't that pretty? Is flicking all the wood shavings up into my face. I'm going to give it a sanding just to see how it's shaping up. This is an 80 grit paper, which is very coarse. I'll probably make scratchy lines in it, but it could be quite good on this end grain tear out. Let's see what happens. This is pretty, but it also has a hole in it. Hey, well, I still have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to take some more depth off this side and see what happens with these wood floor areas. And I suppose if I start cutting into the bowl, I can always take this away, end up with a shallow saucer, or take some, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm tackling this crotch log in the right way. I'm going to take some more depth off the sides. actually opening this up, but then it's also going to be inside the bowl. If I start cutting the inside, this is going to become a hole. I could maybe fill it at some later date with something. I'm going to scoop some off this bottom edge, round out this bottom edge and see what happens. This looks pretty, but it is actually, this is bark rather than tree. It certainly needs gluing up. I could douse it in super glue. Round it in nicely. Do a nice round bottom. It's only firewood. It's only firewood. I could work much higher up here and cut all of the bottom away completely. Top edge of the bowl, make it shallow, and cut in here. I could saw this in half, make that one bowl, make another shallow one here, which might cut away that. Now there's a tempting thought. Saw through this now, so that this will become a bowl. That'll be its top edge. Make this a second bowl. See what happens with that. I am going to do that. I'm going to cut this bowl off of here. Let's give me a pencil line first of all. So where do I want to cut? Now my wood screws are quite long. I wonder how deep they go into there. That makes me a little nervous. I got a spare one. Okay, we're safe to go. Now I'm going to let the lathe do the work and put my saw to the lathe. That needs to be the other way. I'm quite slow. Bowly bit. There's hope for that. So I can put the faceplate on here and finish out the outside, which is still a bit rough. I can at least sand that down is what it needs. And I don't know if I might do that by hand, sand that off, because once this is glued onto my woodchuck, I can still sand and work that outside actually. So a shallow bowl, hopefully, if I don't mess it up from this piece. It doesn't seem to be doing anything special in the wood grain here. Looks very similar to the other spalted willow I've had. But something. And a new flat, oh look, I have a bowl blank. Round, lovely bowl blank. So let's do some work on this. Alright, this barky piece travels all the way through the wood here. Alright, and pops out the other side, so right the way through there is this layer of bark. I don't know if I can do anything with this. Let me take it off and show you. Really fluffy. So this bark area, obviously where the two branches met as they grew out of the trunk, travels all the way through here. Now yes, if I'd kept it as one big chunk of wood and didn't cut the other bowl off the bottom, this here would have all got carved out as it gouged out the inside of the bowl. I might have, this travelled on out here, so I'd have still had that on the outside edge and this on the outside edge. So with this piece, I don't know there's much else I could do. I'm going to stop with this at this stage. I'm not throwing it away. I may learn more in the future. I may resin something in the future. And this would be a good practice resin-y sort of project. So I'm going to leave it at this point, take my faceplate off and just keep this piece of wood for future project or reference and learning. I'm not going to spend any more time messing around with this. Really confident I'll successfully get a little shallow bowl out of this piece. So that's what I'm going to do next. Remount my faceplate. So I've mounted the piece of wood that I sawed off. So this was the original bottom bowl piece. I don't need to do a lot of work to this. Sandpapering, I think, more than anything. We are quite rough here. But my best get out of that, I think, is going to be a bit of sandpaper. Maybe sandpapering, I might need to true it up just a tiny bit because I've put it onto here. Yes, I think I'm going to put the old sawdust powder into this wood knotty area. The bark area, isn't it? That's what that is. Still, I'm going to filler that. The colour looks nice. Okay. Anywhere else I wanted to work on? No, not really, just that bit. I don't stick my fingers in it. Right, let's leave that to dry. Well, my super glue dried and I took the piece off the faceplate and glued it onto my wooden woodchuck. Basically a faceplate on a sacrifice block of wood. So I've hot glued it onto there because I don't have a chuck. And then I left it till the following day and decided I would come back the next day and hollow out the inside. But when I came back the following day, where's it gone? There. I've got, I don't know how well, oh yes, the camera picks it up. I've got a big split, if we get the lighting right. There's a big split here in the wood. I can dig my fingernail into it. So I put this already glued onto its chuck and just put it in a bowl of mineral oil for a couple of days in the hope this might at least close up enough for me to hollow out the inside of this bowl. But we've still got a crack a few days later. So I'm kind of thinking, well, I'm done with this. I hollow it out, it's got a big crack in the side anyway, so what's the point? But at the same point, I'm tempted to play with my new bowl gouge and hollow out the middle. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Either just call it a day and say, this project's been a fail, life happens, never mind, or go ahead and attempt to hollow out the inside anyway. I was nervous of it, thinking because of this crack, things are going to split and fall apart when I start hollowing out the inside. Hopefully, if that happens because of the hot glue, that'd hold things together a bit. I don't know. I think I'm just going to call it a day. So thanks for going on this failed journey with me. I've got lots more wood to play with. So it's a shame, but never mind. Oh, I did order myself a new saw. Well, actually I ordered 2 saws, exactly the same. I do a lot of hand sawing. It's about time I had a new one. I think my old ones are definitely blunt. An extra bonus with my new saw, they came with some free gloves. So I think I might try these the next time I'm using the lathe. I just want something to protect the back of my hand from all the bits of sawdust flying off and give me a good strong grip on my chisel. They're pretty flimsy, but that might be just what I need right now. So I'll give them a go the next time I'm wood turning. I'll try my new free gloves. So I think we'll say bye for now and we'll see you next time. And I'm sorry, no wonderful item at the end of this video. A piece of firewood is all we've got. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.